The wait is finally over as the newly renovated church studio in Tulsa opens its doors to the public. Meagan Farley, Director of Business Development for KKT Architects, joining us now with a look inside. Meagan, when you were a news reporter here at News on 6, you covered this story quite a bit.
I absolutely did, Brian. That is right. Now, 5.5 years ago, believe it or not, Tulsa Teresa Knox, she had a dream. And as a longtime Leon Russell fan, she's been renovating the church studio on 3rd Street ever since then. So here's a look at the church. It was built back in 1915, and then in 1972, Leon Russell bought it and turned it into a recording studio. Now, this is only one of a few studios that are on the National Register of Historic Places. And some others of those that are the same are Motown and Capitol Records. So Teresa and her team, they added onto the south part of the property to include a gallery off the main entrance. And that gallery will showcase rotating exhibits from, believe it or not, they have a 5,000 piece archive. Now there's a brand new recording studio, there's a control room, green rooms, but the space can also be a venue to rent out for special occasions. And Teresa also built in a new freight elevator to make it easier for musicians and all of the bands to move their heavy equipment in and out, which is very important. And Kenny Loggins recently played here for a small crowd, and there will be regular tours for the public, so keep an eye out for those. Also, some new parking was added, and a beautiful 500-pound sculpture of Leon Russell himself stands out in front of the church. So you can't miss that when you're driving by. And Teresa, she's been collecting Leon Russell memorabilia since childhood and says that this project has been so incredibly special to her, and she just can't wait for Tulsans and musicians from around the world to come and enjoy it. So Brian, as you mentioned, I have been keeping a very close eye on this, that whole Studio Row area along 3rd there where the church studio is. So for the public, as I mentioned, keep an eye out for some of those tours that they're going to be offering, because you just got to get a look inside it. If those walls could talk, it's really...
I mean, how incredible of a space that would be to rent for a special occasion, huh?
Yes, Teresa even said, maybe if somebody wants to propose to their girlfriend or just wants to have a small kind of, musical experience with some of the artists that she's going to be bringing in, there's a lot of potential there. So,
Meagan, what are you hearing as far as perhaps the time when this is expected to open?
They have started. There is still some construction underway inside, but I know the Tulsa Foundation for Architecture has already held some tours in there to give folks a look at that. And I would say in the next month or two, I think things are going to be pretty wrapped up and ready to open it to everybody. So.
And I understand too that preserving the history of that space is really, really important as well to the new ownership, right?
It very much is, because even if you've driven by it before Teresa bought it and started renovating it, it had really kind of gotten quite run down. And it's important for her to just, as I said, I mean, it was built, the original church built in 1915, and then Leon Russell in 72, and it's on the National Register of Historic Places. So she is doing everything that she can, and really bringing her passion with it as well to bring this back to life.
Meagan Farley with KKT Architects. Meagan, always great to see you. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon.
Of course.